Yo guys, what is up? Welcome to a brand new video. This is a very different video. Today I'm interviewing Rory from Pokemon Planet, as well as a few other games. And Rory, I would like you to take this time here to just explain like who you are, so people out there that don't know who Rory is, exactly like who you are and what you do and what you've done.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Rory from Pokemon Planet. I'm actually a game developer as a profession. So I've been working on games for I think mm, 16, 17 years now. I got involved with like Pokemon online games, fan MMOs since about 2009. So
Okay.
it started with this game called Pokemon World Online. So Pokemon World Online was one of the first Pokemon fan MMOs. As far as I know, it's still going. It's
Yeah, I
still
think I actually
online. It's still
played it
going
like not
strong.
too like a few years back.
Ah, nice. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of history behind this project and like how this project led to the creation of a bunch of other Pokemon MMOs, but I'll go into that later. Um, the interesting thing is that like I was 12, 12? I was
Bro,
11 when I worked on this UI,
what?
which
You were
which I
that young
sent to,
working on a
yeah,
Pokemon game? Dude, I have
yeah,
literally no concept of like how to even begin, and you were like that young doing that.
yeah. But like I only did this UI basically and the logo for Pokemon World Online. I did mostly this as I wasn't on the team. I submitted this UI entirely as a player, and then they saw that and they added me on the team because like before this the game's UI was pretty bad, but the good thing was that it was completely skinnable, so players were able to just create their own UI. So I took
Yeah,
the poorly done one and I just skinned it and sent it, posted it on the forum, and then they liked it so much they put me on the team. Uh,
that's pretty
and that's
cool,
where I
man.
met Shane, who is now,
Poke1.
well, yeah, Pokemon's Shane.
I know Shane from Poke1. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. Small world.
yeah. And so since then I've worked on Pokemon and Pokemon Planet Online.
Okay. Um, so a lot of people that are watching this video right now are gonna be watching this video because of Pokemon Planet. Probably people really want to know a lot about the game. So, could you tell us about how you got involved in Pokemon Planet, as well as like what you've done, like recently?
Yeah, so like I said in private, like I don't want to say too much of the things that I'm not too sure
Yes.
about or things that Brody would know more personally or things regarding his own life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'll only be speaking from like what my experience was working on the game. Um, I started working on Pokemon Planet because Brody, I believe he played Pokemon World Online.
Yeah.
So when he created Pokemon Planet, he found this UI that I just sent you on Discord,
Yeah.
and he found me through this UI, this post on DeviantArt, and he contacted me and got me to do like the now signature look of Pokemon Planet, so the red and white UI.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that started like our communication and our relationship as like client and freelancer. So he, over the years, he's gotten me to do that UI and actually two complete remakes of that UI. So I've actually worked on more complete remakes of the Pokemon Planet UI, but it's not been used yet.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be used in the new,
The Unity update.
um, yeah, the Unity update.
Okay.
And so from there, I also ended up doing all the graphics for overworld and the character animations in Pokemon Planner as well. So most of what's on screen when you play Pokemon Planner is something that I've done
Yeah.
visually. And so this relationship of like freelancer and client has been going on for maybe the past since 2014, so 7 years now.
Yeah.
But over the years, I've also been working on my own projects, and those have kind of taken priority over freelance work in the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of the updates in recent years, I'm not so in touch with what's going on, but I've also been so the people working on the Unity update,
Yeah.
they are the main one is basically my partner growing up. So we worked together on a lot of games and game engines when we were
Okay.
growing up. And I recommended him to Brody because I believe the project was taking a lot longer than initially anticipated by Brody. So this Unity rework only really began at the start of this year,
Yeah.
officially. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things about Pokemon Planet. Like, everyone's been waiting for this Unity update for so long.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 years since he announced it, and it's still not here. I'm assuming that it's just taken a lot more than what he's thought it's gonna take to move it over, but I don't know. Yeah. So let me think of some questions that I had. Okay. So are there any ideas or anything that you worked on in Pokemon Planet that never ended up coming out or released?
Yeah, so I did mention like the 2 UI reworks. So I
Yeah.
did one in like early 2020 and one this year, but the one this year I believe will be used. But so there is that one UI that I did which will never be used, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll add it in as an option or something, but I doubt it because it's not like compared to what the newest one is, it's not going to be as good anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I really don't blame Brody for not using it because at the time like he was starting to do the complete remake project in Unity, so there was bigger priority. So I completely understand why it wasn't used.
For sure.
But other than that, I think everything I've done has been used, and like I've done a lot of the art for events and like the Halloween events and stuff, and it's always nice like when I see those because those are implemented right away because he gets me to do those maybe a week before Halloween, and then he implements it, and then I see it in game. So it's always fun when you see those like that quickness when he adds it in. Yeah.
Did you make the Halloween Pokemon with hats?
The Halloween what? Pokemon with hats?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Some Pokemon are wearing like witches hats on Halloween event. You can catch a Pokemon wearing a hat.
Oh no, I did not do that. Is that something new?
I think they added it last Halloween event.
No, I didn't do that. I think I only did the initial 2 or 3 Halloween events, so like the mazes and stuff.
You
and then
made the corn maze?
Yeah.
That thing is so long. You made it huge, man.
Yeah, he wanted it huge.
Yeah. It's big.
Because it was only going to be done once, so once you're done with that, there's nothing much else for Halloween, so he wanted it really big.
You should have made variants because it's like the same. It's been the same like corn maze for like 4 years now.
He hasn't gotten me to remap it. But yeah, if he asked me to, I would.
Yeah. So like, you haven't worked on Pokemon Planet in a little bit, right?
Well,
Is that correct?
this year I've done overhaul the UI. So
Okay.
I've been working with Brody on UI this year. I haven't touched game graphics.
Yeah. So do you play Pokemon Planet? Have you played, or did you play?
Oh, that's a good question, but
Yeah.
like I've tried to, but cause like once you've worked on it for so long, it's actually
Yeah.
pretty boring to play it, cause he's seen everything. And
Yeah.
so he did give me like a level 10,000 Rattata, and then
Yeah.
I've only ever used it once when there was this he released the PvP arena queue thing, and I went into queue and I just killed someone with that Rattata, and they were like, "What the fuck?"
That's funny.
Yeah, that's about my experience playing the game. I
Um,
participate in all the events though.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. So I've been doing some research, and I
Yeah.
believe that Brody is French. Is that true?
Oh, I cannot comment on that.
He's not French?
No comment.
Okay. Okay.
What I can say about Brody is that like I don't know if what the player community's perspective on him is,
Yeah.
but I think he really cares about the game, and like to the point where he's willing to just throw money at all the problems that players have. But it's
Yeah.
just that like there's only so much that can be done. Um, so in defense of like the development speed of Pokemon Planet, I could say that when the game first started development, Brody was like a kid. Like
He was like
he was young.
19 or
He's younger.
18.
Yeah. No. He was younger than that.
For real? I know that
Yeah.
Pokemon Planet like released in 2014, and I know that he was
Oh,
like 17, 18 or something like that. So he was kind of young.
oh, he was younger than that.
Man.
It's crazy. So, and basically he programmed it in one of the, I wouldn't say the worst, but a really bad choice of uh let me think of how to say this. There wasn't much choice because he released it in a time where there wasn't HTML5.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a web game, which he really wanted to do, like he wanted it to be online, so in the web, so he had to do it in Flash. But I'm not sure why he chose ActionScript 1. I'm not so his choice of technology wasn't the best, but it worked out
Yeah.
because that was what he had to work with at the time. But because of that, like there's a lot of limitations now, and he's struggling. Like for the past 2 years, he's been like struggling against the clock to get the game in like a modern language. And so I've also been doing something similar with my other project, Nin Online,
Yeah.
which maybe I can talk about later. But like we've
For sure.
remade the whole game in C# when it was previously in the outdated programming language, Visual Basic,
Yeah.
and that took 2 years as well. So I think a lot of games now, they're like a lot of the older games, like even Harbor Hotel or Maple Story, they're doing these like really big projects where they're transitioning from classic technologies to modern technologies, and it's taking large teams years. So
Yeah.
it's not easy, and I understand why like maybe over the past 2 years there hasn't been as much progress as there could have been or there was in previous years. And I think like because of how private Brody is, people don't really know that he's not actually reliant on Pokemon Planet for his livelihood. So it's not
Yeah.
like his job or anything. He's doing it really because he has he's passionate about the game. He has like success elsewhere. He doesn't need the game, but he's doing it anyway.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of what I've gotten from what I've seen from Brody over the years and stuff.
Okay.
And I really do think he's passionate about the game, and it's obvious that like this isn't his only, like, to him to be this young and to make something this successful. He's obviously got to be something big. But what gets to the players and people is that like you said, he's very private about what he does, and people want him to be more open about the stuff, because he'll just post, and it almost seems like he doesn't care sometimes. Like he'll just like post that this is gonna happen, and then 2 years later, here we are, nothing happened, or like he gets kind of sloppy sometimes in regards to he'll let events run like 2 weeks past when they're supposed to be over.
Yeah. I totally understand that, cause like so MMORPGs are typically historically they've been like really big operations with you have a big team running every aspect, like events and stuff, so people have a lot of like expectations for the way things are run. Like they usually have a level of professionalism that maybe indie MMORPGs don't have. So I can see why people would see that as like sloppiness, but I totally understand also why, because in my own experience running a MMORPG alone, or not alone, but with like volunteers and a very small team, things like that happen a lot, especially when there's other things going on, especially when you're also developing the game at the same time, because like the operations and the development, when it's done by the same people or the same individual, sometimes one is more a priority. Like you're busy pushing out an update, so you forget to do you forget to remove the event, or sometimes things just take priority.
So,
but I guess
continue what you're saying. I'm pulling something up really quick. Okay, so here's a question that I asked Brody. I'll have this up on the screen for you guys watching back at home. So I asked him if there are plans for Cinno and Kalos, and obviously Cinno is out, and Kalos is supposed to come out whenever Unity comes out, whenever that is. But he also said here a custom region is also planned. Has Brody ever mentioned this custom region to you?
I don't know if he mentioned it, but he's never asked me to work on it. So if it was planned, I don't think I was involved in those plans.
Okay, that was a long time ago. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah. Is that the only question?
I'm trying to see. There's a lot of questions on here, but a lot of them are not really important. I'm trying to see which ones. Okay, so the next question I have, someone asked here. So these are basically questions that I gathered from the community and then asked Brody in like a big thing. But this question says, when will battle animations be added to the game? Now, has he ever asked you anything about that, like working on animations for battles? Like there are some battle animations now, but did you make those?
When you say battle animations, do you mean the Pokemon moving?
No, not like the Pokemon moving. Like when I say battle animations, I'm talking about like if you use like flamethrower, it shoots fire out of the Pokemon.
Yeah, I think I don't know if he's ever worked on. He's never asked me to work on those, but I did all the UI and I did mention it a few times. Like it's one of the things that stick out to me. Like one of the things that Pokemon does really well is the battle scenes, right? I think if anything, the time for him to add those would be when reworking the entire client. Pretty sure there were some limitations when working with Flash.
Okay, so is Brody like easy to work with when it comes to doing this stuff? Is he nice? What's he like to you?
Oh, Brody is the nicest client I've ever worked with. So like before working with Brody, I worked with a lot of people from different communities online. Back in the day, you got a lot of jobs from forums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Forums, messaging boards, um, DeviantArt, and so Brody came out of nowhere, and we started working when it was still Skype. So we were talking through Skype, and I didn't really know much about him for the most part. Most of the years we were talking, we were just completely just client and freelancer. So I wasn't really asking him anything personal, but he was always very respectful. He always paid on time. He never really bargains with me. He's always very respectful of the freelance grind. You know, like people. There's a lot of nasty clients. Nasty clients out there. So I've been through a lot of especially when you're younger and you have a lot of you don't have a lot of experience with working with clients. There was a lot of people who would just like PayPal charge back you, not pay at all, bargain to hell your rates all the way to like pennies. Brody was a breath of fresh air because he was the reason why I stopped taking a lot of like shit jobs from random people online.
Yeah.
Because if I was going to work for those guys, they would have to be paying me pretty well. Because I don't have a lack of jobs for Pokemon Planet. Because whenever Brody asks, I would do the job because he's the easiest client to work with. Yeah. And I think generally he found me because he liked my work, so there wasn't much friction there. He wasn't always just asking for corrections or changes. He already sort of liked what I did, so it was a lot easier because of that.
Does Brody know that you're doing this interview?
Oh no.
He doesn't.
That's why I make it a point not to go too in depth about what he's like and stuff like that. I will just tell you what I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you where he lives and stuff like that.
Where does he live? I'm joking. But yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your game now. Nin Online is what it's called.
Yep. Nin Online. So I think I would say Pokemon Planet had a big part to play in Nin Online as well, because like when I was working on Nin Online, it wasn't profitable for most of its life. I was just working on it while I was doing other things. I have a full-time job and stuff like that. But it was because I could rely on Brody for freelance work for a good few years. I managed to quit my job and work full-time on Nin Online. So Nin Online partially is thanks to Pokemon Planet as well. Yeah. Nin Online is started as a Naruto fan game in 2004, so there's a lot of history behind it. But like I was a kid, I wanted to make a Naruto online game. Over the years, that evolved into something more original. So there's no explicit mentions of like Naruto or Naruto characters. The game just has a lot of Naruto inspiration. So you see things like kunai, shurikens, ninjas, the same concepts, but no artwork, music, sound taken from any copyrighted or trademarked content. So it's a legal, as legal as a fan game can be. I wouldn't say it's a fan game anymore. Yeah,
because it's more like its own thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That brings me back around to Pokemon Planet. That's crazy how like Pokemon Planet or Poke1 or Poke MMO or any of these Pokemon online fan games are not targeted by Nintendo for copyright.
So I have interesting history behind
Yeah.
this, but I'm not sure how accurate it is. But I'm okay to share it as long as like people don't take my word too much for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I know is that Pokemon World Online was once targeted by Nintendo
Yes.
or one of the copyright holders. And so Pokemon World Online shut down for like a month. And then one of the creators gave the rights to the game to someone who lived on an offshore location,
Okay.
hosted the game offshore, and just basically did everything it could to evade the copyright issues. So they no longer legally owned the game anyway. So the person who was, I presume, in the US at the time,
Yeah.
no longer had responsibility for the fact that the game was still operating. And I'm not exactly sure how I ended up with this story, but I'm pretty sure someone who had this information told me. I'm not sure who it was. I could have misrepresented it in some way, but as far as I know, because of this, because that happened, Nintendo just didn't bother chasing any of the other Pokemon fan MMOs from that point on.
That's kind of crazy, man. Yeah. I was making a little fan game and I posted it and I got an email from Nintendo that said stop.
Oh, okay.
They were
What
like,
year
"Stop."
was that?
That was like last year.
Oh, okay.
I was just working on a little
So-
fan game using the Pokemon Essentials on RPG Maker, and they were like, "Stop doing this."
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen. I wonder why, but there does seem to be like some inconsistency in how they target these games. Because I've
Yeah.
heard of a few like single player Pokemon games that got shut down, but a lot of the MMOs get ignored.
That doesn't make any sense. Maybe because of that's how it's played or how it's represented. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a bit harder to go after a game that uses original graphics the way that like Pokemon Planet does
Yeah.
or Poke1 does for the most part, except the battle animations.
Yes.
Yeah, so there might be something to that, or it could just be that they find it easier to target like individuals they know will just cease and desist once
Yeah.
they send. Yeah, but this is not legal advice. Yeah. If you get a cease and desist, it's in your best interest to just stop. Yeah.
Okay. So, out of all the Pokemon MMOs, which one do you think is the best?
Oof. That's I have I
Which
have
one do you think
too
is the
much
best right now?
right now. I don't play any of them enough to know which one is
Yeah.
the best gameplay wise, but I would say Pokemon Planet has the best 2D graphics,
Yeah.
and Poke1 has the best 3D graphics.
Yeah, I think Pokemon Planet is like definitely its own unique thing. Like it feels different than all the other games.
You think so?
I think it definitely
Like-
feels different. It's almost like, have you ever played RuneScape?
Yeah.
So like RuneScape is known for like how crappy its graphics are. Like it's so old. Like it's just got that
Mhm.
charm to it. People like those graphics. Like, and I think it's the same thing with Pokemon Planet. I think that it just has a feel to it that's nostalgic in a way.
Yeah.
But it's like
So-
unique. I don't know.
Of all the Pokemon games that I've seen so far, I think Pokemon Planet is the only one with full 2D complete original graphics.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Do you know?
Yeah, so I guess it depends. Poke MMO has 2D graphics because it runs on ROMs.
Yeah. So
So
it
it
uses the
uses
ones
old-
from the games, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's literally it's exactly it's just the Pokemon game ROM. You're just playing the ROM, but you
Right.
can play with people.
I've seen it and I think it looks super good.
Yeah.
At one point there was only Poke MMO, Pokemon World Online and Pokemon Planet and
Yeah.
Pokemon Revolution Online. And at that point I could say that I worked on half of all the Pokemon fan games at the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always seen Poke MMO as like one of the stronger ones. Because
Yeah.
it keeps a lot of the charm of the original games by being a ROM.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely like the most popular one. A lot of people know about that one. Some people know about Pokemon Planet. I've talked to people in real life who have played Pokemon Planet. Like they didn't.
Ooh.
They just. I was like, "Here, Pokemon Planet." Like, yeah, I played it before.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
I
okay.
think Pokemon Planet when I last
Yeah.
when I last checked how many players there were online, there was like 800 people online. I was like, that was
Yeah.
crazy because like even some AAA MMOs like Ragnarok 2, they were
Yeah.
dying on Steam with like 8 players online or like 30 players at peak hours, and it was like 800. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong game. I remember back in the day, like sometimes it would even be like 2,000 players online in Pokemon
Oh,
Planet.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I even had 200 people in my stream one time for Pokemon Planet.
Wow.
That's a crazy thing. But it's just like, I don't know. It's still very. I think all Pokemon MMOs are very unknown to the Pokemon community. Like a lot of people just don't know about them. And that's, I don't know. That's I've always tried to like push them out there because I think if people found out about them, more people would play them. But I don't know if we should get more people to play them because of copyright issues. If they got too popular.
I think like if it's out there, most of the time like the creators want the game to be known. Like they're not gonna be scared that people find out about a game. Otherwise, it would be just on a private Discord server or something. If you have a website, you want attention.
Yeah.
But I did hear that Pokemon at some point got too much attention or something like that, and it attracted like unwanted eyes. But I don't know enough about that situation to comment.
Yeah, they've had a lot of trouble. Pokemon's had a lot of trouble since I think they would have been a lot bigger if their launch wasn't. They were pretty popular. That was like one of my first big videos. Like I had a video that got like 100,000 views in like one day from Pokemon, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I think what happened was they didn't have servers prepared for all the people.
Yeah.
So it just couldn't.
I think the architecture for making an online game is really a very tricky thing, but at the same time, like the programmers behind Pokemon, they did a lot of planning, anticipating such things. But so if it didn't pan out well, it just really goes to show like how hard it is to get that down. I mean, games like New World, and you have unlimited budgets and you still end up having tons of issues at launch. It's pretty unavoidable.
Yeah, for
Most
sure.
of the time, like there are going to be a million things that you can't predict.
Yeah. So there are a few creators that have made videos on PokeMMO, Pokemon Planet, and other Pokemon MMOs. How much do you think the creators have impacted the growth and just the overall community?
I really don't know, but I think it's done nothing but good. So like these games, they don't do advertising, right? Like there's no big marketing budget, so you really depend on word of mouth. And I think Pokemon Planet, one of the really strong points is that because of the fact that it was in the web, like you could just send your friend a link, or someone could put the link in their description on YouTube, and one click you're in the game.
That helped out
I think if anything, Pokemon Planet really benefits from YouTubers and people talking about the game and sending the links to their friends.
Okay, so I've made a lot of positive videos about Pokemon Planet, but I've also made
Huh?
a few negative videos about Pokemon Planet.
Yeah.
Has Brody ever mentioned these videos?
No, he has not.
He-
But we don't talk
yeah.
enough for him to go into detail about like his community and stuff like that. I've only like
You
my
only really had a
few
work
encounters
relationship.
with. Yeah, and like the few encounters
Yeah.
I've had with the community has always been really cute things, like
Yeah.
people DMing me on the forum because he gave me like admin for a minute, and people asking me like what's coming out tomorrow or like next month and stuff like that. It's a very positive view on. I have a very positive picture on like what the Pokemon Planet community is. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of like very cute and young players on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, is there? So we're probably gonna start wrapping up a little bit now.
Yeah.
Don't really have any more questions. So is there anything else that we kind of want to talk about the Nin Online too? I do want to check that out. Potentially even make a video on that game. That'd be cool. Check that out because I do like
That would
Naruto a
be
lot.
nice. Yeah,
So like,
I would appreciate that.
um, let's think about something. Do you wanna go into more detail about how the game's played?
So I don't know if you're gonna like put some screenshots of
Yeah, I can
footage
definitely put
on
some
screen.
screenshots up.
Okay, so I can tell you, Nin Online is like a really unique game.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as casual or easy to jump in as most modern games because the way I've made Nin Online is it's a game where you have a lot of factions. So when you start the game, you pick one out of 3 villages currently, and you can
Okay.
also go become a missing ninja. And once you choose your faction, it's open world PvP. So you really have to stick with your people. And so when you join our Discord or you join our forum, you'll see people very tribal in a sense. Like
Yeah.
they'll be very strongly talking. They'll be using very strong words against like other people from other factions, and like we give them that to an extent. So like there is like a swear filter. We do moderate um against toxicity and stuff like that, but we let people be tribal in a sense. Like you are a leaf ninja, so you are going to dislike this enemy ninja to some extent. So we let that
Yeah.
go on. So that might be a bit of a culture shock for other communities. The game the game has a really different battle system. So it's real-time PvP and it's real-time PvE. It's real-time combat, so it's very fast-paced compared to like a Pokemon MMORPG.
Yeah.
And I've gotten the combat to a point where the community is very deeply invested in the PvP meta and strategies and stuff like that. So it's a very deep game and it's very hardcore. So whenever we try to recommend the game, whenever I write a description about the game, I'll always include the line like a warning or a disclaimer. This is a very hardcore game.
It's hard to jump
Be
into.
warned. Yeah. But I think that once you get into it, and if you like Naruto, you like ninja stuff, you are going to like the game if you give it some time. It's a game where you get back what you invest in time. So there's no pay to win. There's no way you can gain an unfair advantage with money. So you're going to only get better at the game with time, and you take your time, you level up, you get your ninja way, and you find your place in the community, and people will see you for what you put into it. Like there's people who have been playing the game for 5-6 years now, and they are, I would say, like the respected members of the community. Yeah, they're very competent programmers. They are career programmers, and they've been working on games for over longer than me, so 2 decades now.
Man.
And they will get it done as fast as they can. I've seen very good progress, and um, it it's always a bit more complex than it seems with Pokemon Planet, because one thing, it's a game made by Brody when he was pretty damn
Yeah.
young, so the code can be a bit to work with. Yeah.
Wait, have you seen the game in the Unity engine?
Yeah. I've seen what they've posted, what they put live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like nothing they haven't put out there.
I've heard things, but not tried any builds that isn't live. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think we're gonna end the interview here. Yeah, it's been a real treat, man, just having you here. I really appreciate you reaching out and discussing these things. If you guys want to, there will be a link down below where you guys can check out his Nin Online, and also you can watch a previous interview that I mentioned earlier in the video with Brody. You guys can watch that. But yeah, Rory, I just want to thank you so much, dude, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Nin Online, come play. This has all been one big ad.
For sure.